Hello, everyone. Diane Scabilloni here. I am doing another one of my shows, People I Know, Like, and Trust. And I am so excited to have my dear friend, Laurean Kile, here with us today. Hey, Laurean.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for having me here today. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm so excited that you're here too. And Laurean is she is an encourager. She is a spiritual encourager. She is a visionary. She is the founder of the Launch Collective. She has a podcast that she's getting ready to launch. There are so many cool things that she's doing. I'm so proud of her. And she really shares so many amazing messages. And I just wanted to introduce her, or you to her, her to you. You know how it goes, the whole like figure eight connection thing with God. And I love how she shares her heart, and she has such amazing business wisdom and life wisdom. And I just, want to share her and introduce you. And one of the things that really hit me, as those of you know, that one of my things is achievement. Like, I really want to succeed. I want to do things. I want to be successful. I want to produce. I want to inspire and all of that. And sometimes it turns into a little bit on the extreme side that I don't rest and I don't take care of myself and blah, blah, blah. So, and I think some of it has to do with like fear of failure. And that's what I wanted to talk about. You know, that one of my favorite things is to talk about things that people don't like to talk about.
Yes.
That's the best stuff, right? And so, talking about failure. And one of the things that Laurean had said when I was in one of her coaching classes is that failure is feedback. And so I thought that would be really helpful for us to all talk about today. So, Laurean, let's just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can, move into the feedback and failure thing.
Yeah. Which honestly, one of my favorite conversations too, right?
Yay.
So thank you, Diane, for such loving, kind introduction. So I am Laurean Kile, and I can call myself now a professional encourager. But I started in this vein of entrepreneurship many years ago. I think I've always been a little bit of a serial entrepreneur. And for many years, I worked with helping seniors find care and placement. But more and more, what would get me excited was helping other individuals start and launch and release the limiting beliefs that were holding them back from stepping into their giftings and their purpose and their the things that light them up. And I truly believe that God, whether you're spiritual or not, whatever that looks like, I truly believe each person is born into this earth with an assignment, with a gift that's meant to be given and to be shared. And God's given me the ability to help people see that gift, own that gift, and like I always say, jump out of the boat and walk on the water and pursue that, because from that place, we live fully. We live fully when we do the things that we love and are passionate about. And then we go into a place where we don't feel like we're striving any longer. We don't feel like we're struggling to work. We're not toiling anymore. We're working in love. We're working in a place of love. And so that's what I'm most passionate about, just seeing other people light up and be fully alive. But it's been a journey for me. It's been a journey for me to get to this place, because I had a fear of failure. A lot of fear wrapped me up and held me back from living my true self, my true identity. And one of the things that hit me was once someone had said to me, I was, taking a mentoring program, and they said to me, failure is only feedback. And this wasn't even a spiritual person, this was just a, a mindset person that was into achievement. And, this was like early on in my journey of like, I'm going to like, create these businesses kind of a thing. But when they said that, I was like, failure is only feedback. It sat with me and it stayed with me. And the more I grew in my relationship with God, the more I got a deeper understanding of what that meant. It's a perspective, and a choice that we make. And, whether you believe in God or not, you can choose to look at your failure as, is just like this, I failed at it and that was it. Or you can change the lens and say, what was it I was meant to learn from it? See, it's a different perspective. It's only feedback. It's only feedback to take you and grow you into the fullness of your identity. And God, God really, that's how he operates, because the thing that you thought you were failing at or failed at, right, is only because there was more for you. That wasn't your thing. That wasn't your thing. That was meant to bring you to another place, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So okay, I'll just say, like, in business, we're going to talk business, right? If
Yeah.
you say you decided, I don't know, you decide to open an ice cream shop, but you open the ice cream shop in the middle of Siberia in the snow, in the cold, and in a village of 2 people, right? I mean, come on, right? You open the ice cream shop there, right? You had a passion, you could create the best flavors, right? But you opened it there and it failed. Why? Because nobody wants to come out and eat ice cream when it's, whatever. And there's customers there.
Yes, yes.
So now you could take that and you could have chosen to say, well, I failed miserably at this, right? And you never then pursued your passion to create the, Baskin Robbins 31 flavors, right? You never pursued the passion beyond that. You just looked at it, well, I chose, I suck and I failed. Or you could have said, well, wait a minute, I have some choices here. There's some feedback here, right? I have some choices here. I can choose, right, to move and to Florida, where it's hot and sunny and 90 degrees and everybody's dying for some cold treats, right?
Right.
Or I love my home here in Siberia and I don't want to leave here. Well, maybe I can use the internet and teach other people how to make 31 wonderful flavors, right?
Yeah.
So there's always a path. There's always a possibility for more. There's only feedback in your failure, right? And we know this. I mean, if we look through history, everything that, Edison, the light bulb, how many times did he fail at that? But he didn't look at it as failure. He just looked at, no, there's a better way to get this thing done. It's a shift in perspective. And that, that is what God is saying to us. It's not a failure. There is no failure. There is truly only feedback. I guess I want to say there is failure. Failure is when you choose to quit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, that's failure. That's when you failed. You're right. You chose to give up. I'm not even say quit, okay? Because you can choose to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to a different place because I see something else that I'd rather pursue. And that's okay. You can then, technically quit. You could quit that job you're miserable at, right? That's okay, right? That's okay, right? I'm not saying that. But when you give up on the dream that in your heart, then you are, and you just give up on that because of fear, then you're allowing yourself to fail, right? Then you're allowing yourself to fail. You can, I guess, allow yourself to fail. And I've done that many times in my life, God, but God can turn that for your good, because again, he gave me lessons from that when I chose to look back and say, why didn't I pursue this? This was a great idea. What held me back from it? I then chose to take the feedback in the failure that I allowed myself to be in, right? I then went back and said, why did I allow myself to give up here? Right? Why did I allow myself? Then I redeemed that. And I grabbed the feedback from that. I grabbed it. So now it's no longer a failure in my memory. It might have been a failure in my memory for a season, but now I can choose to go back and get the feedback that I missed. And I want to challenge you. That's an assignment there for you in that, right? Maybe go backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, as far back as you can in those places where you feel like you failed. I mean, you can even go back as far as thinking, like maybe you have a memory of your failure of your first test. There's feedback in that too. Well, why? Right? Well, because I didn't study, right? I mean, there's feedback in everything.
Yeah.
There's feedback in everything. But I'll challenge you to, if you're holding on to something, guilt and shame and condemnation in some failures, go back to them and ask with fresh eyes now, with mature eyes, right? Because I believe we go from glory to glory, right? We're learning more, we're learning and absorbing more each day. So go back to those seasons that you have guilt, shame, condemnation, and say, wait a minute, let me look for the feedback in this. Because I'm going to tell you, there's a lesson there that's going to help propel you into the greatness and the future assignment that you're in today.
Let me throw something in there that kind of came to me last night when I was preparing for this. And I think where we run into difficulty is when we go back and review the feedback. One of the words that you said was condemnation. And I can relate with that word intensely. And I am releasing that from my spirit, because that is just, and this is something, I go back to childhood a lot, not to condemn my parents or my growing up, but just to learn, like you say, like learn from your experiences. So you were talking about like in your heart. So I think when we go back and we do that review of our failures, then let's go back with a dear friend, like go back with Jesus, go back
with love, from a
love,
space of loving yourself, not a space to, you don't want to go back and re-put that guilt, fear, condemnation back on you to limit you. You want to go back and love with compassion for yourself and say, this is what I knew then, right?
Right.
But now I'm open to learning more and loving myself more. So show me where I missed the love in that.
Yes. And just to I just imagine and be with yourself, like little noogie head time, like it's okay. We'll go back and revisit, when, I broke up with my husband 7 times, like literally I broke up with Jim 7 times before I married him. Like I could totally.
She was at a little bit of fear commitment there, folks.
But like I could go back and look at that failure, so to speak, and say, shame on me. I was horrible. I was mean. I was, or I can go back with, what can I learn from that? Let's be gentle. I was, no one loved me like that before. So that was, coming from a place of fear that I didn't recognize that was love. I thought it was weird.
Wait a minute. This is, this whole intimate thing is new. Like, what is this? Like, this guy's like speaking to my heart. That's weird, right? Yeah.
Well, and then another piece I just want to throw in here about that is, and I know you'll help me to unpack this a little bit more. So failure, who says, like, really, like you and I both can relate, and I know a lot of other listeners can relate with, using the Bible as a learning and as, as wisdom, right? So I thought about this last night. Like, um, where does really talk about failure in there? So what happens is God wants us to sit with him and sit with this quote unquote failure. And this ties in with like my book about how we compare ourselves. If we remove comparison
Mm-hmm.
and if we remove judgment,
Mm-hmm.
this thing is now just a blob that we can
Right.
release.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the judgment and the comparison,
Right.
let's remove that from what we label as failure. And what do you have left?
You have
Right?
nothing. So, I mean, I guess I'm supposed to go here because this is just kind of really hitting me.
Go
It
girl.
truly comes from the place of knowing that you are complete already. So I believe, and I know Diane is believing, and we are pursuing this, right? This is the thing we're pursuing, to operate from our place of victory and completeness and wholeness. Because I believe that from the foundation of the earth, God designed you, planned you, put in you every resource that you need to walk fully victorious. So if you have an idea, a book, a vision, a business idea, you already are equipped to see it to completion, to see it to success. It's already success. If you choose to let go of the external, like Diane saying, the external stuff that you are holding on to, that you've heard from the lies. There really truly are lies. So coming from that place of I am complete. I have the ability. I have the wisdom that I need. Because if listen, I was thinking about this too. This was in the shower. So here this comes. I was like, why was I thinking about like this? But here it is, right? So musicians, okay? There are people who are born like Mozart, right? Mozart was born and immediately, I don't know, could compose. No one taught him, right? It was in an innate ability that God gifted to him. I believe God gifted it to him. And it was just a natural, we'd call that a natural ability, right? The world would call it a natural ability. And then there's like me, okay? I all of a sudden get this desire to learn how to play the piano, right?
Cool.
But I don't have it. I'm just using it.
Okay.
Desire to play the piano, at least not yet. But I say I want to, right? All of a sudden I'm like, I always wanted to play the piano, right? But I go to sit down at the thing and I can't even get chopsticks to sound good, right? Yeah. But now I still have the same natural ability, because our brains are designed to learn and process. So now I believe like God places the Mozarts in the world to help others who then desire to learn that, right? So now I go find Mozart and I'm like, teach me, Mozart. And the more I renew my mind and my skill set and take action, I mean, these are the keys, right? The more I submerge myself in learning, the craft of playing the piano, before I know it, I can play Mozart's song. I mean, it's over time. And then somebody comes along like Diane. She has no idea that I've been, at this for 10 years to play that Mozart song, right? And she's like, oh, Laurean has this, gift from God. And yes, it is. But here's what I'm here to tell you. We all have it. We all have it. Now, like I said, I believe he places some who just immediately can do it to help others rise up and learn those things. But he's placed something in me that is innately given to me without me having to, it's just a natural ability. And the more we start to recognize that we're complete and start asking, show me my natural gifts, talents, and abilities, you start to see them and you start flowing with them. And then you're
Yeah,
able to share yours and help others learn what you have.
that's beautiful. And here's the thing. I think where we get caught up in the failure piece is, I love this example about the piano and playing, because each time you sat down, week 2, week 4, week 6,
Right,
whatever, you didn't probably sound like Mozart. And that's
right,
where we judge ourselves. And
right,
that's where we condemn. And that's where we compare, because I don't
right,
sound like this person. And that's where we shut off the gift. Bam. The
right.
potential
Instead of
gift.
asking for the feedback from the master, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then saying, and the master says, well, Laurean, if you just, change the angle of your wrist here, you're going to be able
Mm,
to reach that key and not miss it, right? And
yeah.
that's our God, right? He's going to gently show us and guide us. But we do have to want the feedback.
Well, and the word that came to me is peacefully receptive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peace, not, just peacefully receptive. God, give me the download here. Like if you want to, we're both talking about starting podcasts, and, we're not going to get a gazillion followers right away. Does that mean that we're not supposed to do it? No, it's in our heart. When we're in our quietness with God, we are being pushed. There's that
Mhm.
warmth, that heat, that Holy Spirit fire that's like, this got to happen. And
Right.
so just here's another person that came to me today, is Noah.
Mm.
Noah, I
Hmm.
mean, think about that dude. My God. So like our podcast creation, our piano playing, like that
Right.
is, each step is Noah getting this freaking wood, or, think like he
Right.
didn't even have an
Right.
84 lumber.
And Noah's a beautiful example
Right.
of shutting out the external chatter.
Amen. Yep.
Uh, and look what he created with God.
Right.
I mean, if he had listened to everyone, including his family, his wife, they all thought Noah's a madman. It's never
Mhm.
rained ever. He's
Right.
lost his mind. He's a madman. But Noah said, I know this is what I'm called to do. And
Mhm.
nothing's going to distract me. I'm not going to, I don't care what anybody else thinks, because it's not there. They're not going to deter me. I'm not going to waver from it. And he knew the importance of the assignment. He knew that it would help restore life. And I'm going to tell you right now, you all have something in you that helps restore life in somebody. And you need to let it out. It could just be, somebody saw my silly mug here that says happy. I can't get it. Happy today, and that might have made them smile, and that restored some life in their day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. So we go from failure to feedback to restoration.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, wow. Which is it, right? Which is it. It's that refining. That is that curiosity. Allow yourself to be curious about yourself.
Yeah. And just, I feel like now more than ever, don't you just, believe that we just need to be gentle with ourselves, and just, tell that condemning voice to just be quiet, and
Yeah,
just, go out and
yeah.
enjoy the weather and be with God and just be at peace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we choose, like you said, like we choose to tell the voice no. Like you can
Mhm.
sit there camped, okay? You know, we talked about, you could choose proactive or reactive words for those who read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But staying in the proactive mindset, staying in, I'm choosing I can over I can't, right?
Yep.
But when you shatter that there is no failure, there is only feedback, and um, and this journey is just, it's all, every day is a new day to practice, right?
Yep.
To practice peace, to practice joy, to practice you know, learning a new skill, right? You have an opportunity. It's always an opportunity for more. It's always an opportunity for more. And even in the struggle, you just need to ask, like, why am I struggling with this? Why can't I get this? And maybe you need someone to help you. Like, we're not here to go it alone. I mean, Diane and I are big on that. We surround ourselves with other people to encourage us to stay in a flow of growing ourselves, to encourage each other, to lift each other up. So like if she's having a bad day, she knows she could say to me, hey Laurean, I'm having a bad day, and usually just because she said that, her spirit shifts.
Yep.
She's not
That's
holding
right.
on. She's not staying camped in the bad day, right? She's saying, no, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to surround myself with other people who may say a joke with me, or may just give me that hug I need, or maybe they will just sit with me and let me cry, because we
Mhm.
need that too, right?
Yeah.
We need that too. But yeah, allow the feedback to come, and look for it with possibility.
Mm. Well, guys, if you love what we're talking about today, then please let us know. And then please check
Yeah.
out Laurean. And Laurean, how can people get to learn more about you and connect with you and be a part of your collective? Tell us that.
Yeah, you can visit my website. It's www.launchcollectiveexpo.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Laurean Kile, friend me, message me. And just say, hey, I'm curious about your group. If you are in Pittsburgh, we do have a local mastermind that we host, if for entrepreneurs. And we look at it from a perspective of like, what does God say? And these are the conversations we have in there. These are the kind of conversations we have. And we're always just there to help each other. I always say, when collective minds gather, the impossible becomes possible. And I love collaborating with people. So this is really why I have these kinds of groups, because it's fun. Life's better with friends, I always say. So
Yes.
yeah, reach out to me anytime. I'm on LinkedIn too. I'm always happy to connect.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Laurean. This was so awesome. I knew it was going to be a good call. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Until next time, many blessings.
Blessings.